Hello, my lovely ladies and handsome gents. Welcome once again and for the first time to talk to the hand reviews. I'm Bo, the reviews lady. Thank you for coming to see me. I'm really excited about what I'm going to talk about today. I had a really fun mixed haul. It's mostly affordable fragrances, but there's a little more expensive fragrance in there. And I'm really excited to share with you. It's from all different kinds of stuff. And there's always a reason why. So I'm excited to share with you guys those reasons why. Here we go. Okay, my lovely ladies and handsome gents. This first one that I want to share with you, I knew I wanted to buy one from this brand because the last time I had a fragrance from this brand was in the late 80s when I worked behind the counter and I sold it. The original Guess for Women. I think it was just called Guess. And it was so sexy. And I had the fragrance and the lotion. I think it was my line when I worked behind the counter in women's fragrances. And, or I bought it, or for some reason I had it. And I didn't usually spend that kind of money on fragrance. I mean, it wasn't hugely expensive, but it was behind the counter in a department store, you know. And it was so sexy. It was spicy, like in a way I've never smelled anything else that was like that. And another great thing about that fragrance was it had the lotion I had. This was in the early days when not that many lines would have body product lotions with shimmer in them. I know they've changed a lot, probably formulation over the years, but I had that too. And that was one of those first fragrances where I felt like I was like, yeah, I'm a sexy babe, you know. It was one of those fragrances that made me feel I am young. I'm a young woman, you know, and I am like, I just made me feel sexy, you know. It wasn't my other fragrances, my other favorite fragrances like Tea Rose and Oscar de la Renta and those florally pretty fragrances. And Chloe at the time was beautiful too. This was that spicy, you know, clubbing. This was my clubbing fragrance of a young woman for me. It's discontinued. It's really expensive. It's like $500 if you find it now. It's discontinued. They should bring it back. It was great. So from this company, I wanted another fragrance because I wanted to talk about that. And I've just been looking and thinking, and a lot of people like this one, and I actually smelled a body spray at a Winners, which is like TJ Maxx here in Canada. And I smelled the body spray and I was like stunned for a second. It was so, I was like, okay, I think that's the one I want. But I didn't want the body spray and the bottle was broken, you know, I just didn't want it. I was like, I'm going to remember that. So I had a chance to try some other Guess fragrances, but I could never get my mind off of trying this Guess Seductive Noir because I think I really like it. So it's Guess Seductive Noir. So this fragrance, oops, sorry, it's not the thing, it's my hands. We need some sexy jazz. This Guess Seductive Noir, it is so gorgeous. I mean, it really is beautiful, sensual, without being overpowering. Oh, I'm very, very pleased with this purchase. Being my representative of Guess, this is what I'd wear to a club where they play this kind of music. Oh, it's so nice. But I gotta tell you something else. As you guys know, people say it smells like Mon Guerlain. Mon Guerlain. I love Mon Guerlain. I love Mon Guerlain. I love Mon Guerlain. Oh yes, baby. Oh yeah. It's you guys. You make me feel so silly. It's all your fault. Anyways, Mon Guerlain. A lot of people think it smells like Guess Seductive Noir. And I really, really agree. I really, really agree. However, I realized something weird when I smelled the Guess Seductive Noir up against the Guerlain. I realized this reminds me of a men's fragrance I used to sell behind the counter called Zeno Davidoff. Zeno Davidoff. There's a bit of the Zeno Davidoff. And when I worked in men's fragrances, we sold it, and I used to like to wear it. It was just, I thought it was a really nice fragrance, you know? So there's something in this that reminds me of that Zeno Davidoff. Not that much, not that much. That's not, this never reminded me of Zeno Davidoff. So there's something in there. But is this an excellent dupe for this? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, very much so. I would say that, you know, for me, Mon Guerlain, it doesn't, this is an EDT. My Mon Guerlain is an eau de parfum. And it doesn't last that long. It's beautiful, stays close to the skin. Same with this one. I put 20 sprays on the other day, and then my husband couldn't hardly smell it in the car. He had to get close to me, and I could still smell it throughout the day and into the evening. But I had to be, he could still smell it, but he had to get closer to me. Like, so that's probably good for a lot of people. You just want, when you just want it to be close to the person you're with. A really nice dry down too. No synthetic, no weird. It's really nice. So Guess Seductive Noir is definitely a yes for me. I really enjoy, I'm glad that I got this one. And yeah, moving on to number 2. So in my ongoing quest to try to get one from as many companies as I can, I was able to get a hold of this one at a good price. It was pretty much a blind buy. I got it, and I'm very pleased with it. It is Marc Jacobs Perfect EDT, and I blind bought this. I was like, I can't believe I get it for that price, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a snap, and I did, and I am completely thrilled that I did. Very, very thrilled. It's just one of those fragrances that it screams fresh. It screams fresh. I find this for being a beautiful, fresh, light, floral. I get an aquatic vibe from it too. Being a beautiful, feminine, any age, but very youthful, effervescent. This is young at heart, or this is actually young for real. This Marc Jacobs Perfect EDT, it is absolutely gorgeous. And when I leave and come back in the room, it stays in the room. I do feel like this is one that is a light fragrance, but for me, it's got some really good projection, some amazing sillage. So there, oh wait, and I want to talk to you about the design of this bottle. When I first started seeing all the Marc Jacobs little bottles like this, I was like, man, we don't really need more plastic stuff in landfills, do we? You know what I mean? I had a little bit of that. But I do like the Marc Jacobs different Marc Jacobs fragrances. I do like them. I have a mini of Lola, but I never had an actual Marc Jacobs. This is my first. I'm telling you, I opened this up. And I fell so in love with all of the beautiful things here. They are so pretty. I feel like this is the princess in all of us. This is all our dreams come true. Like, because, you know, we look at, here's a little kitty cat who doesn't love a sweet little kitty. This beautiful crystal shoe. It's plastic, but you know what I mean. It's crystal in our brains. These little cherries. Cherries mean luck always, don't they? And plus, who doesn't like to eat cherries? They're wonderful. Look at this pretty little thing that looks like a locket. Michael Kors, sorry, not Michael Kors. Marc Jacobs, you know, so pretty. All that is gorgeous. And that's my favorite side. And the other side is cute too, because the other side represents so many things we all love. Look at, who doesn't love a game? Dominoes, right? Dominoes. Really? You don't like dominoes? You freak? Everybody loves dominoes. Look, dominoes. Anyways, the banana. Did you know I heard the other day that bananas are like the #1 thing purchased in grocery stores? I mean, I don't know if that's true. I think it might be in the United States. But who doesn't love a banana? Really? You tell me right, you don't like bananas, do you? Yeah, right. You know you love bananas. Anyways, moving on. MJ, it's just cute little initials. This little shoe, this is like, it could be like a jazz dance shoe or a toy shoe or Monopoly shoe. I think everybody just thinks that's super cute. It's like a shoe something fun was done in. And this little star, this is not a star. This is a special occasion Mylar balloon. Isn't that adorable? I mean, I think this just screams, it screams happiness. It screams love and fun and everything great. And then it's all in the backdrop of this Mickey Mouse bow. Minnie Mouse bow. And I don't love the Minnie Mouse bow. However, I think in today's world, I think Dior has used the little plastic bow a lot, and I think maybe Chanel has. A lot of people have used the little plastic bow on their luxury products, and people like it. So, you know, I feel like, well, I can buy that little bow as a backdrop because I love all these cute little things on here. And the fragrance is gorgeous. However, there's one thing I gotta confess about it. I've had a chance to try the Marc Jacobs Perfect EDP, Eau de Parfum. This is the Eau de Toilette. And I can see why that one is really popular. It is not exactly like this. It's got more of the first thing that you smell with this. It's an extreme, fresh, floral, effervescent moment. Like you're walking in some beautiful field and it's just most ideal condition, just stunning. And that's it. There's no other big lasting bass note that overtakes. And that's the way this one is to start. But then this extremely, I don't think they're going to say it's aquatic, but to me this extremely aquatic, something else takes over almost right away. From the middle notes on to hours later, that is what will stay in the room. That is what will stay in the middle of the room. It's got that thing that I think newer fragrances do, where a lot of them, they have this chemical where it just stays in the middle of the room, and it's like you leave the room and you come back and go, oh wow, that stuff smells good in here, you know. So this one, Perfect Marc Jacobs EDT, I do really love it. I think maybe I like the Eau de Parfum more, but I didn't find it for the price I found this one at. But I mean, this is, you know, this is up there. Most of the Marc Jacobs are, but I highly recommend this. If you, as a blind buy, I really do. I think it's nice. I don't really like to tell people to blind buy because I don't want anyone to end up wasting their money, but I do it though. It's thrilling for me. And I think this is just so light and pretty that if you don't like it, you'll probably be able to pass it on to someone who does, because I really like it a lot. It's adorable and it's gorgeous and it's fresh, and I do plan on wearing it a lot. So Marc Jacobs Perfect Eau de Toilette. This is an absolutely gorgeous, fun little, another like a kind of a blind buy. It reminds me of, I don't know for sure what it was, but I've had a set. It was like Adidas does this little set of 3 fragrances that I had. Someone gave me as a gift for Christmas or something, and or a gift exchange, I don't know what it was, but man, these little things, I kept them in my purse and they were fantastic. And I couldn't tell you what they were, but this is the vibe of all of those. This is just very, very sporty, very light, fresh, any age, anyone can wear this. I think really this is probably meant for like a younger crowd, but I just think this is gorgeous. I don't think you're taking a lot of big chances to get this one. But again, I don't want to tell anyone to do any blind buying. But I'm really happy with this one. It's just a beautiful, fresh, I wouldn't say it's that unique. Like I said, it does smell like some things that I'm familiar with I used to wear. But I do think it's worth it. And there's a reason why these kinds of things keep getting reproduced, because they smell good. Anyways, Avon for you too. Okay, and now, this is one I kind of have an association with from the past. I kind of don't. I was working behind the counter when and I launched Elizabeth Taylor's Passion, the very first fragrance that Elizabeth Taylor ever created. And I was really fun. I mean, it was a novel thing at the time. Not that many celebrities had done that kind of thing. And there was, you know, mixed reviews on it. I liked it. I thought it was very unique smelling, you know. I mean, I thought, oh, it's kind of old lady. You know, my I was probably like 21 at the time. 19 to 20, yeah, I was probably about 21 at the time. When Elizabeth Taylor's Passion launched. And it was a great, it was really interesting. And the line, it had so much great stuff. Anyways, if this is not about Elizabeth Taylor's Passion, this is about a fragrance that is a flanker of Elizabeth Taylor White Diamonds. And I don't remember ever selling that one myself. I think that came around after. I think when I was working for Guerlain or Oscar de la Renta, I think I smelled it because I went around to stores sniffing everything I could. You know, I was there anyways. You know, I would educate myself on whatever else was available. And so I did get to know it. And no, that's not true. I did have some. I had some minis of it. Where did I get those? Because I knew what it smelled like. Anyways, it's a beautiful fragrance, original White Diamonds. But I thought, I don't really want to invest in that because I already know what that smells like. I want to try I want to try a flanker this time because I know the original really well. And I've just been looking around. There are a million flankers. I don't even know how many flankers there are. But I finally, after reading reviews and after like a lot of people told me about this one being their favorite, a few of my viewers, and thank you so much, you know who you are if you like this one. I ended up getting this one, and it is Diamonds and Emeralds. Diamonds and Emeralds. Oh, it's been in my cart for so long, and then it got cut, and then it came back, and it got cut, and then it came back. Then I found it at Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada for a really good price. And I hadn't seen this one there. And I grabbed it. So, Diamonds and Emeralds. So I want to tell you how I feel about this fragrance. Okay. This is so special. It is immediately cooling. I would say it is extremely cool. Like if you are in a hot climate and you don't want to be hot and you can't help it, I think this one, it imparts a sense of coolness, almost a clammy kind of coolness. Like a lot of times, you know, you're walking around in a yard or something, and then you like go into a lower area, and then all of a sudden everything gets colder and you can smell moss and those kinds of things. This one doesn't smell like moss, but there's like definitely a colder feeling, like you went down into a basement or something. And this fragrance, I read that it had, I believe it had, you know, like tuberose and gardenia and things like that in it that I really do love, and some jasmine in it too. So this fragrance, I think it is so unique and so gorgeous, but there are some things about it that bother me. I don't know why, but it instantly reminded me of a bad experience I had before, and this might be a little triggering to some of you because it was a little bit strange for me, is somehow it reminds me of getting really sick after drinking alcohol, of like throwing up, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was the first time I ever got drunk. And I was really young. I went to my friend's apartment building. She had a pool, and you know, it was out like in the open. You know, it was, you know, everyone. It was in the middle of the apartment buildings. It was very safe, and there was, you know, wrought iron around it, and people could see in there. It wasn't like, you know, no one can see these young girls. I think I was 14, and my friend was also very young. And so we went out there. And there were these guys that one of them I think I knew from high school or from, I don't know, but he was a bit older than me, but he was always so nice. He was a real gentleman, right? And there was another guy that was similar from school, whatever. I didn't know him very well. Anyways, so my friend and I were out there swimming, and those guys came to swim also. And they had some orange juice out there for us to drink, right? They had some orange juice. And I was like, oh, that's nice. You know, it's nice of them, you know, and I'm swimming, and I drank the orange juice. It was a tumbler of orange juice. I drank like 3/4 of it. And I'm swimming around, and all of a sudden I realized, I don't know what this is, but I'm swimming, and I don't feel safe. I better get up out. I don't know what this is. What was in that cup? you know, because I'd never been drunk. I'd never ever experienced that. So I get out of the pool and I'm all like, oh, what happened? And these guys said, not both of them, not the one who I thought was really nice, like this other guy I didn't know very well. I asked them, you know, I feel really, like, I didn't feel very well at all. And I was like, what's in that? And they said, oh, it's Southern Comfort. You know, if you've ever had Southern Comfort, I mean, it can be, it's really yummy and it tastes good in cooking. But if you ever have a situation like that where someone slips you a Mickey and you're, you know, you don't know, and you're underage and you never drank before, you know, it was really scary for me. I really didn't know what was going on. So anyways, I'm sorry to say that I think I must have been wearing something similar to this when I was young, and I was like, I felt really betrayed by these guys. I was like, that is so weird. You know, I never had anyone do anything quite like that, you know, before, and you know, I just thought that was really strange. I went home and I didn't tell my mom, you know, and I just knew that I felt really sick and I was still throwing up, and I never told her because I felt so bad that I had drank, and I didn't even drink on purpose. But anyways, I think that something about this fragrance, it mixed with that day. And it's not aquatic. Well, you know what? That's not true. It reminds me of something very, very cold. I'm sorry to say swampy because it's a beautiful fragrance. It reminds me of, like, you want to wear this on a cruise ship where, like, you're just dancing and having a wonderful time and you want something really beautiful to waft up. It's just so pretty. I'm going to give this a chance, and I'm hoping I'll outlive that bad memory of that. But yeah, Diamonds and Emeralds, I really hope to love it, but I'm open to getting some other kind too, just in case. So a wonderful fragrance, but we'll see what happens. It's Diamonds and Emeralds from EmeraldsByLizTaylor. Okay, you guys, and this is the last of my little haul, and thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you bought any fun fragrances that you're enjoying recently, please feel free to write them down below. Write anything down below. I don't care. I always answer everything, and it's always really fun for me. So this is the last three fragrances in one because it's a set that I was really excited about. I want to show you this gorgeous packaging first. It is this Badgeley Mischka set of 3, the Marc and James for Badgeley Mischka Overture Trio. So these gorgeous fragrances, look at how they make it like suspended in there, you know, so it looks like these beautiful bottles. The designs of the bottles are stunning. I absolutely love it. I've shown you that. I'm just going to go over the fragrances inside. I'm going to try to keep it fast, but I do have, out of all the fragrances I got, I have one favorite, and I'm going to tell you that at the end. These bottles are stunning. They're absolutely stunning. You're holding them in your hand. The little caps are very tasteful. They're plastic, but look at, they're this really pretty crystal looking. The bottles are glass. That is not a sticker. It's beautiful care taken with these. I got this set of 3 at Winners in Canada for a really good price. Anyways, I'm going to tell you. So this one, Marc and James, Badgeley Mischka, Ava. Ah. It's a beautiful, unique floral. It reminds me, and I wouldn't say it's a fruity floral. It's a floral that has a very romantic yet mature quality to it. I absolutely love this. I'm really glad to get my hands on this. I think also too, you know, these kinds of things that you get a hold, a lot of times they have to be a blind buy because, you know, where are you going to get to try something like this, you know? So I took a chance, and it was a really good price for all 3, and they're like, what, 1.02 per, you know, and I think I paid like $16.50 Canadian. I mean, you know, and it's Badgeley Mischka. I mean, you know, it's probably a licensed product, but I didn't care. I wanted to try, and I'm really glad I did. So Ava, I highly recommend. Absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to go for Poppy. Poppy, beautiful little artwork there. This one is the most unique of the 3. in that it really reminds me of something that I had when I was younger. It's not a sweet, I mean really young. I want to say it reminds me of like Fabergé Babe. Did any of you ever try that when you were younger? Please write down below if you did. Fabergé Babe. I think that's kind of what this is like. And also, you know, it's called poppy. And even though I have poppies in my garden in the late spring, I think it's the late spring, and they don't really have any sweet fragrance, but they do have a strange fragrance. And I can smell that in here. Even though this is really pretty, it's very powdery. I would say there's something extremely innocent, like a flower bud that hasn't opened yet. And I like this one too, but this is not my favorite of the three, even though it is a pretty fragrance, and I'm very glad I got it, and it is very unique. I don't know anything that's available now that smells like this. So Marc and James, Badgeley, Mischka, Poppy. And the last of the really cool set of three, Audrey, Badgeley, Mischka, Marc and James, Audrey. When I smell this, I enter into a land of beauty and dreams and streams and flowers, but very proper, sweet but not too sweet. This is my favorite of the three. I feel like this, it's feminine and beautiful and sweet, but it doesn't, it's not overly vulnerable in its sweetness. But it is a gorgeous fragrance, and it is my favorite of the three. And all the fragrances I got of this haul, this one takes the winning spot. This Badgeley, Mischka, Marc and James, Audrey. I absolutely adore this, and I absolutely think if a niche brand did something like this, people would freak out. Oh man, I'll let you know if I smell anything that smells like this, because this is so special. Anyways, Marc and James, Badgeley, Mischka, Audrey. So that's it, my lovely ladies and handsome gents. I want to thank you so much once again for coming to see me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.